Welcome back to the Cover to Cover Girls Book Club. We are your host. I'm Hallie Bell. This is,
Michelle. Hi, guys.
and today we're just chit chatting because we are reading slackers.
Because we haven't read the book, and honestly, I'm not really interested by it, to be honest.
So the book that we started was Husbands and Lovers by Beatrice Williams, which is doing really good in the book circuit.
Yeah, super popular.
And it's super popular, and I started it 2 weeks ago, and I have had no desire to pick it back up.
No, same.
So so we're just gonna piddle, this Tuesday and try to finish it by Friday. It literally
Yeah.
feels like assigned reading at this point.
Wait, how far are you, do you think?
I'm probably, like, an hour into the audiobook. Like,
Oh,
pretty
you're
decent.
listening?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm probably further than you then.
Oh, for sure.
Ooh, yeah, I'm listening to. I like the audiobook. I'm so
I do too.
uninterested in the 1950s version.
Me too. It's really not keeping me, but I mean, the beginning chapter was like super fascinating to me
Yeah.
about him getting poisoned, spoiler alert, by the mushroom and being taken to the ER, and kind of like the parallel of that by her getting bit by a snake, back flashback. And then, like, when it just started getting into the details of like her with the guy, and
Who's
she's married, but she's like talking to this guy that lives in Egypt, which is also like a British colony at the time.
and the
I
guy
don't
may
know.
be French. We don't really know.
It seems a little dry, and like I had a hard time following along.
Me too. I have no idea who's who.
Yeah, that's what I just, and I'm like, is it gonna flesh out where I know what's going on?
Yeah. Regardless, we'll finish it. And if we don't finish it, I think that could be interesting too, a DNF.
Man, that'd be the first Cover to Go Girls didn't finish. And we've read some pretty bad
And
books.
we've read some bad ones. Oh God. But all of that to say, we've both
Yeah,
been in a reading slump,
reading ruts. I have
reading
not.
rut.
I've literally, honestly, I've been more turned on to podcasts lately. I don't
Ooh,
know if it's because I'm just like, we've been so busy. We took my son to see the Blue Angels for his third birthday. We went to the beach
amazing.
for a week and a day, and it was literally felt like a year and a day. Like, going on vacation with your children is not a vacation. Even though it's so fun, it's just not a vacation.
No, you're busy. It's not vacation. You're still doing more than ever.
And then we got back, and my rooster, everyone knows Hyacinth, um, decided that he hated me and that he wanted to attack me and fight me to the death. And
It's
it was
nonstop.
bubbling over. It was bubbling over for a week. And last night it happened, and I got attacked by my rooster. He
It's not
pecked
okay.
my knee. It's not okay. I've got to send pictures of my injuries because they're pretty bad. And
Pictures.
yes, I've got like a peck bite that's like pretty deep, and then I've got like a scratch on my hip. And then while I was kicking him and running and holding my baby, and
Stop.
I tripped over a tree root and I fell down, and I was screaming because I was so like, you don't want to fall down in a fight with a rooster
With a baby. No, no,
and
no.
with a baby. And my husband came running over and punted him into the deep dark woods. And
This
now
rooster
that
is out of control.
he's been locked up in the coop today, because he's been stalking me, and honestly, he's just been trying to get me alone.
Yeah. He knows when you're by yourself. He knows when you're vulnerable.
And away from, like, he's really scared of Wally, and he's really scared of Greg. And they were off in the woods looking for our little chickies,
Hmm.
and I went around the front to go look for them. And so he caught me like at a vulnerable time. And then the other time where he really almost got me, before this time, I was by myself looking for Wally's bike in the back garage,
Oh, he knows
and
what he's doing.
he was there, and he was blocking my path. And what you're supposed to do is just assert dominance. So I just walked. He was literally blocking the path, and I just walked right by him and looked him in the eye, and he started to chase me. As soon as I walked by him, he started to chase me, and luckily I
This
had
isn't
Wally's bicycle, and I just shoved him with my bike with his
it's
bike.
not okay. You can't live in fear like
I
that. You can't
was
it's a hostile work environment is what it is.
It's a good retelling, but, to be honest to all the listeners, like, it's psychologically damaged me, and
No,
I am
100%.
it's the scariest thing to have this huge my rooster is literally, like, 10 to 15 pounds, and
No, he's
he
massive.
he was not gonna stop. Like, when a rooster has gotten his target, they will fight to the death. That is, like, what they do, and, yeah, thank God
Scary.
my husband was there.
No, it's seriously terrifying.
And so I cried for an hour, like, it was just so scary.
You shouldn't live
So
like
anyways,
that.
my life is really different now post Rooster Attack,
Post rooster. PRA.
and honestly, it leads us into, like, our spooky topics. Like, I feel like these are some good Halloween topics because
Ooh.
we're gonna talk about the new Housemaid casting because we discussed the Housemaid our very first episode, and they've casted, and spoiler alert, Michelle hit the nail almost on the head.
I hit the nail so close to the head, like it just barely missed. It like,
It's
it
like
just
there was a
buzzed
hammer
past.
mark next to the nail.
Yes. Exactly. Ah,
And then we're also going to talk about the Menendez brothers because who's not talking about the Menendez brothers? Um,
they're
because
amazing. Well, they're not amazing. They're icons right now. It's insane.
they're icons. And I've watched the series and I've watched the new Netflix
You
documentary.
watch both?
I watched both.
Whoa, I've
So
started both, but I'm not done with either, but we'll talk about it.
here's me being like, I don't have any time to read. And I'm like, I've watched both
No,
Menendez.
seriously, that takes up like an entire day, Halle Bell. So you know, yeah.
And you need like time to come down from it, like because it is just such an intense story.
Oh, it's a
And
nighttime
then
show.
and then also we're going to talk about Lisa Marie Presley has released a new or her daughter has released a new book that is based on Lisa Marie Presley that it's unreleased tapes recordings of a book that she was writing before she passed, and Riley her daughter is releasing it and added some chapters, and I'm so excited
That's
because I'm a
crazy.
huge Elvis fan, and
Wow. I hadn't even heard
just
about
massive.
this.
So she did a sit down with Oprah, Riley did,
Yeah.
um, to talk about the book and commemorate her mother, and I will get more into it, but
Yeah.
it's fabulous.
Wow. Wow,
What
my
else did
updates. Oh, there he is. It's my favorite part of the episode. And he had a shirt on. This is new.
and he had a shirt on. So
Wow.
sorry, TikTok.
And it's so funny. Scott Vest literally just liked our reel as Greg was walking past. It's like they have this coordinated.
That's nuts.
Isn't that weird? But no,
Also,
what?
Scott's Furniture of Cleveland, if you're
Yeah.
listening, sponsor us.
Yeah,
It's time.
seriously, we need a sponsor, Scott. My updates were just like the recent books I've read, but nothing exciting. So let's
You've
start
been
from.
reading you've been reading a lot, and you've also had some author interviews
I have,
that we need to
yes.
reference.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Nothing. I haven't been reading anything crazy, but yeah, we'll get into it.
All right. Well, Housemaid cast. This is so crazy
It's
because
crazy.
it really is wild because our very first episode as the
This
cover
was
to cover girls,
like a year ago.
it was
Maybe
the
not.
one of our best. It was honestly our best
I
episode.
think it is our best. Yeah.
It's like been like this
Yeah.
and like it being at the top of like the graph. But we decided it was like a 30-minute episode and we were like, let's just talk about it. And it was a book that we had read like several months prior.
Months
And we were all
before.
months prior. And we were like, okay, let's do a casting for it. And Michelle literally called Amanda Seyfried.
No, but I called her as the wrong main character, which a lot of people have been agreeing with me that she should have been the maid and not the main character because the main character still should be Kate Upton. But I leave it at
Well,
that. It's really crazy. I'm not thrilled about Sydney Sweeney, but I like her.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
like her as a
just felt
person. I don't love her as an actress.
yeah, I'm not convinced. I haven't seen her act, I guess, and I just felt like she wasn't, I don't know,
They
more
look,
they need a more established actress to
yes.
anchor the show or anchor the movie. Is it gonna be a
And
show or a movie?
I think a movie. And
Okay.
don't you think they look exactly alike?
Yeah,
They
I
look
don't know
too
how they're gonna
similar.
differentiate. Are they gonna dye Amanda's hair?
No, I think they're gonna dye Sydney's hair because
Sydney's
Millie.
hair
I think
black.
Millie has dark hair.
But they do this, they did this in The Perfect Couple where they
Ugh,
switched the roles and the hair color, and it really bothers me as a reader. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves when you're gonna alter, like, just try to keep the physical appearance the same just so
yeah,
that readers can, like, connect and be like, "Oh, okay."
exactly.
Like
It's like the one thing we have is the description, the written description of their physical appearances.
and I'm pretty sure I said Kristen Stewart
You did,
or, like,
yeah.
Anna Kendrick.
No,
I
you said
can't
Kristen Stewart,
Kristen Stewart as, the maid,
and she would have been
and
perfect.
I really think she would have been perfect. And
Whatever.
Amanda
Lionsgate,
Seyfried,
reach out to us.
yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be good. I'm so happy for more books in a movie, and I really think that The Perfect Couple, like, kind of got this go and it ends with us, like, they're really starting to pick up more
Yeah.
books.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Housemaid wasn't my favorite by Frida McFadden, but it'll be a great movie.
It'll be a great movie, and it's a book that sticks. Like, I'm still referencing it
Oh yeah. Yeah. Do
over
you
a year later.
do you think it'll be like, because I think the book isn't that spooky. Like it's definitely thrilling, but do you think the movie will be as thrilling and be so descriptive? Because like there's some really descriptive scenes that are kind of nauseating.
You know, I'm not sure. I hope they go really by the book because there's some,
Me
like,
too.
because it's super visual, like, you can visualize really well with this book. So
Mm-hmm.
I really hope they kind of, stick to it. I mean, every book reader wants you to just stick to it
Yeah. Just use the
because
book. Don't change anything.
we want to see the story come to life. And I do want them to change some things, probably, like, I don't know, like, maybe simplify the story a little bit more.
Yeah.
And do we know who's playing the guy?
No, they only released the girls and the director, who I'm not even that familiar with the director. I couldn't even tell you his
Interesting.
name. Yeah.
Because we said random Hallmark guy, I'm pretty
It
sure. We were
just
like,
any Hallmark Christmas movie, take the main male character and put him in
no,
this one.
the villain, the
Yeah.
main villain.
You know who I think would be good, and I
Because it's got
keep
to have He's gotta
what?
have bold eyebrows. He's gotta have bold eyebrows and slick back
Ooh.
black hair. That's every villain in a Hallmark movie. It's like bold eyebrows, slick back hair.
Huh. You know who I think could be
Think about it.
we said that, but I'm really into Desperate Housewives right now, and I think the kid that plays the 16, 17-year-old who is also John Tucker in John Tucker Must Die, I think he could play him. I don't know.
That's a good
If
one.
if
But
they cast him, watch.
he would need facial hair for me. Like,
That's
he would need, like, a good
I
amount
think
of
he
facial
has it
hair.
now. Maybe.
Oh,
I don't
good.
know. We'll see.
That's a step in the right direction for him.
We'll see. We'll see. But I'm really excited about it.
I am too. I just hope more and more keep getting made. What?
I just thought of something, Halle Bell.
Stop.
And this is the official, I can say it on the podcast. I'm officially moving back to Tennessee, and Halle Bell and I can watch The Housemaid live in person.
And we're gonna be doing all of our episodes. Well, I think all of
Yeah.
our episodes live and in person together.
Yay.
So
So basically
this
counting down the
dynamic,
days to get me out
get
of
her out
here.
of my house
Yeah.
and let me use the Wi-Fi.
No, literally. He's like, please, can I just play the PlayStation for 5 minutes?
And I'm just like ready, so ready for her to move back here. And, like, you'll probably just be seeing more and more of us because
Yeah.
I'll just get to come over
We'll be getting groceries, getting gas, getting on
and
each
we'll be
other's nerves.
banning each other from each other's house.
No, you'll have a key.
No, I literally said, I was texting Michelle and she was like, "Oh, I'm just so ready to be back." And I was like, I typed, "Cannot wait to have a weekly dinner." And then I erased it because I was like, "Oh, I can't send that." 'Cause
No, but it's
I have
you
to,
didn't
like, weasel her way in.
yeah. No, but you didn't have to say it because it's kind of like it's
It's
implied.
implied.
Like, I
Yeah.
know we're gonna do a weekly dinner.
I mean, yeah, and I'm making oatmeal cream pies this week. Like, I'm just like, I'm ready for you to be here so that you
Wow.
can indulge in the things that
In
everyone else around me doesn't appreciate.
Yeah, I can indulge in wily wonder.
And wily wonder with freshly folded laundry and
Ah,
always a baked good in my cake
wow.
display.
This really is a housemaid. Just kidding.
Where everyone makes everything no, that was the funniest thing we've ever done was when we did swipe for the alternative cover of The Housemaid, and it was just a picture of me.
It's just Hallie cleaning. It's so
It
true.
it was like a picture of me in a white kitchen, like,
Well, what are you
it
gonna
was
do?
so funny. Every time I think about that, I still laugh. We need to repost that,
Yeah, we should.
for all the new fans out there.
Yeah, write that down. Put that on your to-do list.
Okay,
What's next?
let's jump into the Menendez brothers because I really need your opinion because honestly, I feel so lost. I have all the information,
Ooh,
but I feel so lost. I cannot decide about these
re
brothers. And I really
seriously.
feel that's how a lot of people feel.
I wish, and maybe we should do a full episode on just this after, because I've gotten like, I'm almost done with the series, like the fictional one, and not
Oh,
fictional, but with with the actors. And we just literally, I like last night started the real one. And I think I might like the real one better, but I need to finish both before we like actually talk about it. Now, I through and through crime junkie. I have my if I go missing folder. Like I really in my heart believe the boys. I don't know. I do
I
though.
believe it's not that I don't believe the boys. I believe the boys. I do. I believe that they had terrible parents. I believe what they did was really wrong. Do I believe they should be on the streets? I don't know. They
Yeah.
scare me.
They're definitely unstable people. And should they yeah, they had these problems with their parents. Should they have killed them? No. Should they be in jail? Yeah, probably. But should they be on death row? I don't think so.
No, and they're not. They're just in life without parole. And I don't like the
Oh my
idea of
God.
them behind bars, but I
No.
definitely feel like a sentencing of like extended psychiatric stay, like
Yeah.
something of that. We need something like
Get
that in our judicial system where it's like, listen, I think something terrible happened to this person. I don't believe they should be in like state prison, but I definitely don't think that they should be like free at their house to
free
like
at
do whatever.
Publix. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, free at Publix. Like running into Eric Menendez at Publix would probably be as scary as my rooster attack.
No, I think if I ran into Eric Menendez on the streets right now, I would just it would
I'd
be
freeze.
I would freeze because it that would be the same to me as like and I hate to say it, but like literally seeing like Harry Styles. Like that's a celebrity
Yeah.
to like I would get clammy. My hands are sweating thinking about it.
I mean, the boys, like I know that everybody's making fun of cuz and it's not anything to make fun of, world.
No.
Okay, listen. Lyle and his hair. And I don't love bald people. I don't love bald people by choice. Like people that choose to be bald, I think that's very wild.
Don't get a buzz.
Um
Yeah.
But he didn't choose that, and now he's, like, rocking it, and he looks so healthy, and
They
he
both
looks
do, yeah.
so glowy, and Eric is really into his art, and they've done amazing things in prison since.
I think
They've
one of
had,
them
like,
has
a lot of
graduated.
reform,
Yeah.
graduate college. They've had a lot of prison reform things on the table, and but it's just where I'm just not comfortable
I think
having them on the streets. I love them and I want
no.
them to have a more fruitful life, but it's just I don't know, especially after being in prison that long.
Yeah. I think get them out of prison, get them in mental care. You know what I mean? Like they need to be in a facility, but maybe that facility doesn't need to be jail. And I think they're married, not to each other, of course, but I think they have wives.
Yes.
And like one of my
Yes.
coworkers, shout out Tristan, she was like, "Do we think that the wives are getting money? Because if so, like how perfect of a setup. You're married to a millionaire who you never have to see."
They actually don't have money anymore. The money that they have now is from things like this. Like, they did a
Really? So
Barbara they
they don't have any
they did a
inheritance?
so their money really ran out, before the second trial
No
because of
way.
how expensive their trial was, and just because
Oh,
they were crazy spenders. Like,
yeah.
Lyle was getting wigs ordered to the facility, and they were like $2,700, and back then, that's like
A lot, yeah.
$10,000 today. So, like, it is,
That's
like,
crazy.
with inflation, and so they really did blow through their money, and, their lawyer had to do the second case pro bono. But now they have, like, some money from, like, interviews and book deals and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But they did the Barbara Walters interview exclusively to try to stay in the same prison before they were separated,
Oh.
which I found super like, that's what something that you learn in the documentary,
Huh.
and I just found that so, like that, like,
Mhm.
warm like, that is such good intention there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
What do you think about their Eric's attorney, the curly blonde-haired lady? Do you hate
Okay.
her or love her?
So she was interviewed, or like asked to be in the Netflix documentary, and she
Ooh.
declined because she said
Why?
there is no way out for these boys now. The only
Oh.
like they have been tried and sentenced. And I think she genuinely like wants to leave it in the past. I think it was super traumatic for her.
Oh, for
And the way
sure.
that the court system treated her in the second case was, I mean,
Awful.
so sexist. Like,
Yeah,
the
awful.
the judge was so incredibly rude to her, and it was the same judge in the first case as it was in the second case, and he just shut her down. And the attorney for the first case that was, on the prosecution, the other woman,
The darker-haired
she
lady?
yes,
Susan, is that her name?
I
I
cannot
don't know.
remember, but she is in the new documentary,
Yes,
and
yes.
she is so like, she's like, "Hey, TikTokers, every inch of my house is armed, so don't even
Yeah.
try to get me," because she's just,
No,
like, spewing hate.
no, she's an
She's like
awful human.
she's like, "The only reason why I hated the second trial is because I didn't sentence them," and I'm like, "That is just, like, not
What?
even the." I don't even think she has a heart of an
No.
attorney.
And she says, "I would who would she?" She's like, "I would sue, but I don't wanna lose my house because I know she doesn't have anything and she'll rob me." Like, "What?"
'Cause that's what she was saying about Leslie.
Yeah,
And I really think that Leslie saved Eric's life. I really
me too.
she
And
helped him get that story out
yeah,
and get the conversation going. Now, that's how it happens in the series, but in the documentary, it's Lyle wrote Eric a letter that
yes.
detailed the abuse, and they found the letter, and that's kind of like how the conversation got started. And his psychologist in prison was like, "It took months
Who,
to
Dr.
get."
Vickery?
Yes,
I think he's a gem. Yeah,
I do
he did
too.
he did a great job.
Why Why would he lie? Like, he
Yeah,
has no motive. That's what I just don't understand. Like, that psychologist, what does he have to gain?
yeah,
He's just, like, assessing a patient, you know what I mean? I think he was, like, hired by the defense staff,
yeah,
maybe, but, like, I don't think he would lie about their story or, like, try to make it look like they were abused and they weren't. Like, I just don't think
yeah.
so, and when they were asked to draw what happened to them, and the pictures that they man, I could just tear up. They were like little kid
I
drawings,
know.
just like so
So
sad.
sad.
Like they to me, like when something happens like that to you, you kind of like stop aging. Like you're stuck at the age of the trauma.
100%.
And I think that the Menendez boys are like stuck at their age.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
listening to them talk, they are really adverse and they're really intelligent, but there's like that emotional like stuntness of like they're still 18, they're still
Yeah.
21, and they can't move past. And I just think that's so sad.
Yeah. No, it's really traumatizing and like I want to believe them and I think I do believe them to a very, large capacity, but after I finish it, we can talk about it more because I have a lot of
Okay.
questions and yeah, I love it though. Like and Felipe doesn't watch spooky stuff and now he's really into it and I'm like because he had no idea what the case was. It's
Well,
so crazy.
so I stopped watching true crime stuff because I just felt it was really dark. And I like how we talked about in the rabbit hole with Kate Brody. It's an amazing
Yep.
conversation. If you guys haven't listened to it, it's awesome. Kate Brody is awesome.
We love her.
She was talking about how they sensationalize, victims and how, you know, everyone was mad at her for like killing a dog in her book, but she's like, "Aren't you reading this about a young woman that died? Like,
Yeah.
aren't you like thinking that this the whole time?" You know what I mean? And so I
True
really had
crime.
stopped
Yeah.
watching true crime because I just, but when there is a case like this, I find it so fascinating, and it is I think like a mental exercise to like think about the justice system
Yeah.
and thinking about what happened. Like, this is history,
Oh,
their
100%. And
case.
crazy to me that some people have no clue about this case.
In the
Like, I'm
documentary,
glad that they're talking about it now.
yes, in the documentary, he said Oprah did an episode 16 years after they were tried about
Crazy.
abuse in boys
Yeah.
and how boys can be abused. And that was 16 years after they were tried. So
Not.
imagine the general public, they hadn't heard stories like this, or they had heard
Yeah.
it, but it's like, you know,
hmm And everyone in the documentary, it's like in the first 10 minutes, they're like, well, these people don't fit the persona or the description of people who are abused. And I'm just like, what is wrong? Like, this doesn't even make
no.
sense.
There were 0 character witnesses for their parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Zero.
0 character. Can you imagine? There was
No.
no one to speak upon somebody that had died to show their good character,
Yeah. That's
except for his
crazy.
secretary.
Which,
That
like,
is it.
yeah, she's paid off. Like, of course she's gonna say good things.
I just like, and not even Kitty, the mom's own
Her
sister.
sister. Yes. Crazy. Oh. Oh, I thought you were
Yeah.
frozen.
Oh, no, sorry.
Not frozen, just in shock.
Just in shock because I could not imagine like my own sister. Like, that just shows that there's been something wrong from the root of it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well,
There
Felipe waved.
there goes another one.
There he goes. Up
Um,
to his hole. Yeah.
I
It's
highly encourage everyone to watch it. I know that the series is pretty dark, but I just think it's an important conversation to have because I think our justice system is different today, and I think there
oh
is
yeah.
still some reform. There are people in prison that were sentenced under these times.
Mm-hmm.
That just made me really think, like, there's a bunch of people in prison that were sentenced under these types of juries, our world is so different
Yeah.
now.
And you should watch both. Like if you're gonna watch one, watch the other.
Yeah. Yeah, you have well, I do think that the documentary is pretty swayed towards the boys because it is, like, recordings of
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and they don't really go into, like, the tape that Lyle has done with the
Mm-hmm.
girl they don't go into that as much, and what else? Like, there were some parts where I was like, "They didn't really answer that."
Yeah, it's definitely swayed more towards the boys, but
So, I actually think the docuseries is a more balanced watch because it is like a
really?
in an interview, they were talking about how they just kind of took all POVs and they blended them together.
Yeah. No, I see that. I appreciate that.
And I
And
really do appreciate that. And the story is probably somewhere in the middle. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
for
Like, it
sure.
always is. There was
Always is.
abuse and there was overreaction, and it like
That's a great way to
combined.
put it, HB.
That's my opinion. I don't know.
Wow. No, I agree, and I'm glad that we're on the same page about it.
That Surprising.
That's surprising.
Okay, I want to talk quickly about the Lisa Marie Presley
Please.
book.
No, I don't know anything about this, so please do tell.
So it's called From Here to the Great Unknown, which is a line from an Elvis Presley song. And it was actually Lisa and Riley's favorite Elvis song. Riley is Elvis's great, or is Elvis's
Granddaughter.
granddaughter.
Right? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And Lisa is his daughter. And she was alive when Elvis died.
Wait,
And
I'm so sorry. Does this certain run when he has a lizard in his mouth and he was doing okay. Anyway, so I'm so sorry. Back to the Presley.
you got to move
Sorry.
tonight.
Well,
Pack it up.
he catches them, but he doesn't kill them, so that's nice.
Get the U-Haul. You can't have a live lizard in your house tonight.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Okay, I'm so sorry. Back to the Presleys.
Oh, anyways, I haven't started the book yet. I'm really anxious to dive into it. She did an Oprah interview, um, and I watched pretty much all of it, but she shared some kind of behind the scenes of the books. She has these really special recordings of her mom reading what she wrote.
Aw.
And she says, I don't take that privilege for granted. Like most people have like a card or
Yeah.
pictures, but they don't have like full on
Yeah.
recordings,
An audio recording. That's crazy.
hours of their mom talking. And she talked about how Lisa, when she woke up that day when Elvis died, she was just a little girl. And even today, during in Graceland, you can't go upstairs
Yeah.
because that's where Elvis passed, and that's also where Lisa's bedroom was. And she said she woke up or she went to bed that night and she knew something wasn't right. Like she said
Ugh,
goodnight to Elvis and she knew that something was awry.
that's
And
crazy.
isn't that so crazy? And Riley looks so much like Priscilla.
Yes. Yes.
It's really, and everyone is saying she's an amazing actress. And I haven't seen anything she's been in, but
No,
she's been in a recent movie. Oh, go
I
ahead.
no, I think you have. Haven't you seen
What
that?
have I seen?
What's her recent movie that you, which one? Because I'm pretty sure you have seen this.
I don't know. Her face
Hmm.
looks familiar to me, but if I saw her, I didn't know she was
Yeah,
Elvis's granddaughter.
yeah. Huh.
Like, no idea.
Because I'm pretty sure
Uh,
I watched something, or it was something that like was super popular, and then it was like, oh, that's Elvis's granddaughter.
that's
So
crazy.
I would be shocked
Oh,
if you hadn't seen
I
it.
know what it is. I know what it is. It's that series about the musician on
Daisy
Amazon
Jones
Prime.
and the Six?
Yes, isn't that
Yes,
her?
I think it might be. I didn't watch it, but did you?
I watched a little bit of it and it was just a little too dark for me.
Yes,
But I think that's her.
I think it is. Hmm.
So that's interesting because I didn't really like the series. I thought it was
Ooh.
a little too dark for me,
So
um, but
is this book out already?
yes, it
Ooh,
just came
okay.
out, and the Oprah interview is actually really good. If Oprah lets her talk, Oprah has gotten insane. I'm gonna say
Ugh.
it. She doesn't let people talk.
No, no, not at all.
She was filling in Riley's words, and I get that she's read the book, but she was like leading questions, filling in the answers for her. And it was like it was such a cringy interview to watch. Like
Yeah,
she's really lost her touch because Oprah used to be a really great interviewer, I thought.
and like
I
we're there to
loved
see the
Oprah.
guests. Like we want to see what Riley's talking about.
I,
So
and
let her
I
speak.
when I, the only thing other thing I've watched recently of Oprah's was when she did Harry and Meghan's interview,
Oh yeah.
and I just thought she did a terrible job. I just was like, she was leading them into paths that I felt like they weren't comfortable taking, and wasn't getting genuine answers out of them. Like she
Yeah.
just when Barbara Walters was interviewing the Menendez brothers, that is something to see. She was not scared.
No.
She was actually being borderline rude to them. Like she
Really.
was really grilling them.
Yeah.
Yes. And Barbara Walters,
Man.
she's kind of like a bulldog.
It's good though. Like that's what we need for the
Yeah,
Menendez, but like we need to see that. We don't want to see someone like Oprah, just like
yeah,
traipsing around and like finishing their sentences.
yeah. I think this interview could have gone to somebody else, but I mean, if Oprah calls, you got to answer the phone. So I get
That's
it.
gonna be the title of this episode. If Oprah calls, you gotta answer.
I love Oprah. I'm gonna go on a side tangent about Oprah.
Oh God.
Um, when I was a little girl, I watched Oprah every day at 4, and I probably the reason why I
Oh,
am.
see, I was an Ellen girl,
See, you were an Ellen girl.
and that's why we're the way we are.
She had an episode where she built a Build-A-Bear and she like had Dippin' Dots. It was kind of like a mall episode, but at her studio.
Ooh.
It was like all the new favorite things,
Oh
like
my
one of her
God.
favorite things. And it was like a 2000s episode. It literally altered my decision of what Build-A-Bear I got. Was
Stop.
based on Oprah's one that she did. She was like, "I want a classic," and I was like, "Me too, Oprah."
Me too. What was it? Which one was it? The golden little stuffed bear?
The golden one that's kind of fluffy, but, like, not super shaggy, but, like, a little bit like, I have to, like, peel see, I could go get it, but you have to, like you have to,
Wait,
like, peel open its eye
I think we
or,
might
like,
have the
find the
same
little
one.
beads. I
Yeah.
bet we do. And remember all those girls that would have, like, 6 or 7 Build-A-Bears? And I was like,
That
no.
no, that's not the point.
That's not the point. You have 1 Build-A-Bear, and that is your Build-A-Bear, and you don't go and make another.
No. No.
Anyway,
Heavens no. We should go make build when I get into town, can we take the boys to make Build-A-Bears?
you're too late.
No. Okay, let me rephrase. When I get into town, can you take me
My
to make a
children
Build-A-Bear?
Yes, my children already have Build-A-Bears because, like, it's probably, like, been my dream since I made a Build-A-Bear was, like,
Yeah.
taking my children
Okay,
I
well.
literally made Teddy his first Build-A-Bear before he was 1
Oh
for
my God.
Christmas.
Wow. Okay, fine. Well, I guess I'll have a kid
I'm
so we can take it to
sorry.
make a Build-A-Bear.
Please, oh my god. I
Maybe
will,
we
like,
can steal
I'll be like,
Sterling.
"Let me watch your baby," and be like, "Don't take it to make a Build-A-Bear," and I'll be like, "I won't."
And then it gets a Build-A-Bear.
And it's, like, comes home with, like, a little thing of Dippin' Dots and, like, a Chick-fil-A sandwich.
That is the American dream.
That is the American dream.
Wow.
Right there.
Wow.
Anyways, I'm really excited to read the book,
No,
and
should that be our first nonfiction for the podcast?
I would love it too. I don't know if you're that big of an Elvis fan, but I just think that this is gonna be so interesting.
I, I'm not a huge Elvis fan, but I'm a Presley. Like I love Priscilla.
The press
So
Okay.
I would like to read it. I'm just not into nonfiction, but I think I could be. Like it would be a good challenge for me.
I think that this could be good, and there's snippets from Riley, there's,
Yeah.
a huge chunk from Lisa, and she was talking about how Lisa grieved Elvis, and it was super private. She didn't talk about Elvis a lot in her interviews, even though it was, like, really pressed upon her, and she
Yeah.
would, like, find her mom crying, like, listening to his music and stuff, and she's, like, again, like, emotionally still, like, she's 9 years old and just lost her dad,
Yeah.
that feeling, and I just think it's gonna be really
No,
interesting.
it's definitely going to be a good read, like no matter what, because you're going to get
Yeah,
a lot of info.
I can't wait, and I just
Yay.
love Graceland and, like, just visualizing how it was back then. That's what I asked to do for my honestly, like, my 9th or 10th birthday, we went to
Really?
Graceland.
I've
Yeah.
never been. Oh my God.
We have got to go together. I haven't been since I went
Really?
that one time. Yeah,
I
I'd
want
love
to
to go
take
back.
I want to take Felipe's mom. She's like the biggest Elvis fan in the world, and she would love to see that. Hmm.
Oh my gosh, you, me, and Felipe's mom.
How fun! Let's go. You'll love it.
Now that's a group.
Now that's a trio.
Don't be surprised if I come with, like, a little pen and paper.
No, seriously.
What?
That's so funny.
Anyways, okay, you've got a book on here by
Ooh.
any other name. Is this
Uh,
Jody's new book?
Halliwell, Halliwell, Halliwell. Don't get
I'm
me started.
ready. I'm ready
I'm
to
gonna
hear.
I'm going to say it. I'm saying it live on TikTok, on the podcast. I don't like it.
It's taken you a long time. I felt that coming.
Okay, so for those who don't know, By Any Other Name is Jodi Picoult's newest book. She's my favorite author forever. And she writes about really traumatic events. She writes about like things that are going on in the world, a lot of political issues, not politics per se, but like school shootings and stuff like that, transgender movement. And she wrote this book, and it is so half of the book is it bounces back and forth between like 1500s and present day, and it's about
Ooh,
yeah, and so the present day is this girl who is a playwright, and she's not getting the credit she deserves because she's a woman. And so her best friend submits one of her plays under a male name. Her nickname is a
okay.
guy's name, and it ends up getting huge. And then the
Okay.
other perspective is her ancestor from the 1500s, who, lo and behold, was the actual writer of Shakespeare. Like, Shakespeare didn't write his own stuff. It was this woman named Amelia Bassano. Anyway, yada, yada. If you don't like Shakespeare and if you don't like plays in general, this is seriously the most boring book you could ever imagine. Like, I
Yeah.
started it. I started it like mid-August. Seriously, the day it came out, I started listening to it. And then I went to the book signing for this book. I was
Yes.
so pumped. Actually, it's right here. Let me just show the team. Show the team.
Let's
Show
see it.
everyone. Not my Coke pants. Um, I'm sorry. This is huge. This is a
It's
thick.
huge.
Look at that compared to my hand. Like, that's a thick book.
But also, this is
It's
no
beautiful.
mountain for you though, because you read so fast. Like you could tear through that.
I,
If you
I d-
really liked it, you could tear through that.
oh, if
That's like
I
a Harry Potter book though. That's like a
yeah,
Harry Potter book.
I have a Harry Potter right here. Do you want me to grab it? No.
Yeah. No, I actually do want to see the reference.
I'm kidding. I don't have a, but let me show you. I had, you know how Harry Potter, they wrote a play version? Have you read that?
Yes.
It was up there, but I
No.
just moved it. Well, here's Husbands and Lovers next to it. So like it's not that big of a difference, but it's
No,
like
but Husband and Lovers is long.
this is long and this is like an extra 100 pages, I think. Like
For
anyway,
sure.
I Greg is so funny. I had
Is he in there?
such high hopes. Sorry, I'm like trying to figure out exactly how many pages. This one's probably like 500-ish, and then Husbands and Lovers is like not even 400. What's that? Dune? No.
No, it's not. It's The Great Book of Amber.
Oh, I'm not
The
reading that,
Great.
Greg.
We're never reading
That's
this
horrid.
away.
Get that away from us. Anyway, I started listening to it back.
Like, imagine if he was like on like one of those rolling ladders, and I'm like, put it back.
And he goes, which I think you should get in your home library.
Oh,
Oh, God.
we should get a little ladder in there.
I know, I
That's
think
such a
you
good
have,
call.
yeah, write that down. Add that to the to-do list. We've got a couple of to-dos. Reshare
Yeah.
the housemaid picture and get a ladder.
Perfect.
But anyway, so yeah, I started listening to it the day it came out, mid-August, and then
Okay.
when I got the book, I was reading it, and I have seriously an hour and a half
It's so
left
fun.
of the audiobook. Like I keep going back and forth, and if you're
An
into
hour and a
poetry,
half.
I'm so close to being done. If you're into poetry and you're into Shakespeare, you will love this book. It really does have like a great, beautiful telling story. Like it talks about a lot of crazy, crazy things that happened in the 1500s, things that are happening now. It's not for me. I like realistically, I'm probably going to give it like 3 stars, and none of it has to do with the story. It's just Jodi's writing.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I don't recommend it unless you're a
But
fan of that type of stuff.
here's the thing. An author can't an author can't write
Banger
every
after
single
banger.
book. Well, and it can't write every single book for every single person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Different
I'm
strokes for
not
different
going
folks.
I'm not going to I like Ellen Hildebrand, but I don't like all of her books.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like I like the majority, but people just put too much pressure. I say this all the time, but they just put too much pressure on authors to like deliver.
Yeah, no. And she was already at the book signing. She was talking about her next book that's coming out like next year. And I was like, take a break. Like, don't you want to go on vacation? I don't know. But maybe
I
they
think
write way quicker than we think.
you guys also should listen to our episode with Anastasia Ryan because I really think that there is like some deep problems within like the publishing
Oh, yeah.
companies relationship with authors. Authors have very, especially if you're not well known, have very
Mm-hmm.
little control over how your book is marketed, how your
Yeah.
book is portrayed, like how your cover looks, the
Yeah.
edits that are made, and the direction. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
like Anastasia was saying, she gets prompts. She has to write
Yeah.
books according to prompts and she has to do two in this deal and then two
It's
in this deal. Like
crazy.
it's just it doesn't curate creativeness, and
Creative. Yeah.
it doesn't get the best out of the best authors, I don't
Yeah.
think.
I was actually also put this on our to-do list. I was talking to her the other day and she gave me some like tea in the publishing industry. So I have to tell you off camera. Yeah, it's a really wild. Hmm.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
gosh, I can't
I
wait
just
to hear.
I completely agree. It's like that what we as readers don't see in the publishing industry is like kind of horrible. Like no wonder so many people try to self-publish. But
Oh, if you're gonna write something you are no name and you have the money, self-publish because
self-publish
I just
and street team market.
I just couldn't imagine having a passion like this and it getting totally squashed with prompts and just,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
let someone's story come to them organically. Wow, we're getting a ton of traffic down my road.
Oh, I thought you meant on, like, the
I'm
TikTok
so
Live. I was like, "Oh my
sorry.
god."
No, I'm not tuned. I literally said, "We're going on TikTok Live," whatever that is.
Whatever that means. We have 4 likes so far.
Shut up. From who? Let's give him a shout out.
I think Peter. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter. That's so
Love
nice. True cover to cover girl right there.
yeah, love you, Peter. Tune
Love
in
you
next
so
time.
much.
Oh god. So anyway, that's by any
Anyways,
other name. What's next?
okay. What else is on here? My missing daughter.
Ooh, okay. Now I'm not gonna say too much about this because also one of my favorite authors. So Ellery Kane, she writes under a fake name. I don't even know her real name. But her author
I
name is
love that.
Ellery. I love it. And she was the very first author I interviewed like over a year ago. And we
Wow.
just had the coolest time because she's like a forensic psychologist. Like that's not what she does, but she does something like that. So she's very much so like in the world of true crime. And like listening to her talk about the people that she deals with in her work and how she can like kind of take stories from them. And it's absolute madness. But she recently wrote My Missing Daughter, and it's her publisher is my favorite publisher ever, Bookator. You know I love them.
Yes, yes, we love them.
Yep. And so she posted, "Oh, I have this book coming out soon." I said, "Give me a copy." I got the copy and I
I
listened to
got the
it. I got the
copies.
copy. They give me the copy. So I got the audiobook, and I don't love thriller audiobooks, but this was such a good book. And she said to me, she was like, when Halle Bell reads it, she was like, I love watching you guys. I love watching your clips from the podcast. And she was like, I would love to
Wow.
come on whenever you guys read it. Yeah.
Oh, great.
So
Michelle,
we're gonna have Ellery at some point, but this book is really
very
crazy.
fun.
It's yeah, I'm excited, but it's about these two girls who are 19 years old, they're best friends, and they co-write a book. And it's a thriller. And the book, like the plot of the book is that they go on a road trip and bad things happen. And so they decide to go on their own road trip while they're editing happen. One of the girls ends up missing, and there are just so many plot twists. And she does a really great job of like at the very last second, you're like, whoa, like things that you just don't ever see coming. Or maybe I'm just
What
I
about a Halloween special with my missing
ooh
daughter? Just throwing it
ooh
out there.
I love
Could
it.
be really good.
No, do it. Yeah. I recommend you listen to it, but it seems like you've got some things to listen to, so maybe read it.
I am going to finish Husbands and Lovers. I'm going
Maybe.
to listen to Lisa Marie because actually Ellery reads the audiobook and I just think that or Riley, not
Yeah,
Ellery.
Ellery.
Riley Riley reads the audiobook and I think I like to read thrillers because I just feel like it's less
Ooh, yeah.
visual or like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's a
It's
little,
less scary.
yeah, you can take it at your own pace. Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay,
Wow.
perfect.
You'll love it. It's a great thriller. And she just writes like, I don't want to say cozy, but they are kind of cozy. Like
I love.
they're not too scary and there's just like twists and turns and it's just like a good classic thriller. You don't expect the ending and all of the characters are really lovable. So you'll see.
I love the plot.
It's so good.
I love like they're writing it and it comes to reality. Like
Oh
I
my
love stuff
gosh.
like
It's
that.
crazy. What's next?
Deja Brew.
Deja Brew. Wait, was there anything else on your list?
No, those I hit all of it. It's reading. I had Reading Rut, Housemaid Cast, Menendez Brothers, Lisa Marie.
Oh my God.
All
Okay.
I had.
So Deja Brew is another one that I got on NetGalley. If you guys aren't on NetGalley, I can't like preach it enough. But it's the way that we
I'm
support
not.
these. I know she's not, and it seriously pisses me off. But that's how we support authors and good
Yeah.
publishers. But anywho, I really was like, you know what, Michelle, you need a good fall book. Like it's Halloween, it's
Okay.
October, you need a good fall book. So I scoured through NetGalley, and this is literally the book is called Deja Brew, and
I love.
it's an orange cover, and the characters are wearing like cozy fall outfits. I'm pretty sure there's a pumpkin, there's a broom, like it's so fall.
Yeah.
It was the most interesting book. Like it was so spicy. And it's about a witch, but it's not like a cheesy witch like Harry Potter. Like this, she's like a witch and her family, they're all
Wait,
witches.
what?
Yeah,
Do
she's a
not
witch. What?
like Harry Potter cheesy?
Well, not cheesy, but she doesn't have a wand. But she has like, she's a kitchen
Dumbledore
witch.
doesn't use a wand.
What?
Dumbledore doesn't exclusively use a wand.
Well, she doesn't, these characters are modern day. They don't have capes. Capes, what's the word?
Isn't that the best part?
No, it is. It is, but it's not like she's not what you think of when you think of a witch. You know what I mean? Like she's not riding on a broomstick.
Well, then I don't like her.
I exactly, Halle Bell. Exactly. That's my point. so so the main character is a
I'm like,
non-cheesy
give
witch
me a black cat with a black hat and a black
and a
robe
broom. Yeah.
and a broom.
A robe, that's what they're called.
Oh
Anywho,
my God.
what?
I was just about to say I was late to this podcast because I tucked in my child, went downstairs, made a water, and I was walking past our Amazon packages and I had ordered a little wool hat to put on our bust on our mantelpiece, a little witch.
Amazing.
And I was like too excited. I will post a picture on our Instagram
Please,
stories because I I just have this idea of like we have this bust and I just like want to dress her up for like all the holidays.
please give
I
her a
just had
Santa
this
hat.
dream
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like get her a little witch hat and
Wait,
put it
you
on
have to
her.
send me a picture.
It fits like a glove. Like
No.
it is
Wait, you should get. Oh my God, this is amazing.
it's actually kind of weird like how good it like it's supposed to be like a
It's made for
woman's
her.
hat. It was made for my
Oh my
bust.
God, I have to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh
crazy.
God, it's crazy. Anywho, the main character is a modern day witch. She lives in New Jersey and she falls for a magician who comes from a family of famous magicians, and they have a show that is very much so like keeping up with the Kardashians if the Kardashians were famous magicians. And so the whole story is about these two like falling in love. They fall into like a friendship, and she accidentally does a spell that makes her repeat the whole month of October.
Ugh, hate it when that happens.
I hate it when that happens. And
Actually,
it
love it when that happens.
it's just like I listen to it, which like I don't love. I hate listening to spicy scenes, and it was
Oh
just
yeah.
like it was so cheesy. Like It was cute. It was a
Really?
cute. It was a cutesy book, but it was so cheesy, and it just like wasn't like a cozy fall read like I wanted. Like they talked about apple cider, and I was like, okay, that's great, but that was like, it was fine. Like I think if you want a kind of like, witchy Halloweeny book with a little bit of spice, definitely read this book. That's all I have to say. I think the narrators did a good job, but it was definitely like a
Does
NetGalley
she use
thumbs
her
down.
spells to get in to get into his heart
Yep. Yep. Maybe. You'll
and
have to
into
read
the
it.
bedroom?
Wear the shoulders. Do the shoulders. Oh,
A
God.
spooky, scary skeleton.
Spooky, scary. Now, I'm sorry, I'm still talking. Speaking of spicy books, I asked Halle Bell, guys, I specifically reached out to Halle Bell and I said, I got this book from the
Yeah,
author. It is
yeah,
it's a dark mafia romance.
yeah.
Do you want to read it? Because the author does want
No,
to be interviewed. And Halle said, no, I'm not reading that.
sorry. I literally, I'm like, we are so desperate to, just connect with any author. And, I want to, I'll read anything from
No, you
anyone,
won't.
but not that.
No, and I'm so glad you didn't, because there's like seriously like multiple kidnapping, like people like ripping off toenails. Like it's not actually, but well, maybe there is. There are so many shooting scenes. Like
Oh
it's
my
just
gosh.
crazy.
The,
I
okay,
loved it.
back to the Menendez brothers, because when
Ooh.
Eric, when he goes, the mafia did it. And like, so Jenna and I watched this a little bit with my sister-in-law. All weekend we were like, it's the
The
mafia.
mafia. Wait, I need to make a clip that's the mafia did it, and then it pans to this book. That's funny.
Yes.
Like that's
That's really
good.
good.
That's good marketing.
No, I was in the midst of making my son's birthday cake, and I was like, if this doesn't turn out, the mafia did it.
The mafia did it. That's so funny.
It is so funny.
Wait,
Anyways,
did you
oh
by
yeah,
any chance stumble upon the shower scene with Jenna?
the shower scene.
Halle Bell Wiley. The scene where Eric finally decides that he can take a shower at jail.
Yes, Jenna and I did witness that together, and we were so confused because we were just like, I don't think Eric's gay, and he's
No.
not in real
Well,
life.
no, but
But I was like, also like, where did they get these behind the scenes like prison stories to like rat on the brothers? And I just think that's a huge invasion of privacy to disclose what is happening to you in prison, because
yeah.
once you're in prison, you are living in that world. Like, I just think it's a huge invasion of privacy to discuss private things that go on in prison. It's already awful.
Yeah. My thing is I want to know, no, Halle Bell, I'm being so serious. I want to know how they cast people who are so willing to just have their penises out.
Now that was crazy because I said, we've seen boobs. I've
Well, we
never seen a pee-pee on TV.
never?
I
And
don't
there
think so.
no, and there
Like
were
on like
seriously
a
like
show that
12
I'm watching.
on
No, yeah,
Netflix.
I've never seen, you know what I mean? Like I have never
Oh, I
been
know.
ambushed
It
by
was
a pee
crazy.
on TV. And I was just literally like, I said, "Oh, they're showing that." I
Yeah.
literally said that to Jenna. I was like, "Finally, some equilibrium."
Some equal representation.
And people, I actually saw something the other day. This is so weird. I saw something the other day where they were talking about male exposure on TV and how gross it is. And I was like, you know what? That is just so wrong for you to say that. Like, it's like that's just not that it's like women's bodies are definitely more beautiful than men's. Um,
Definitely.
but it is just time for like if women are going to be that vulnerable on screen, I think men should be too.
Yeah, yeah, I
Hot
agree
take.
completely. I know, I agree completely. If you can show that, you can show that. And the Menendez
That's just what
brothers,
I'm saying.
yeah.
So
Anywho,
I was, there was a
mafia
peepee on my
romance book.
screen, and I was just like, okay, it's,
No, there was like 12 penises on your screen.
I know, and I was just kind of like,
Ah, there's that.
I just honestly, I was like equal representation.
Yeah. No, it was wild. Anywho,
Okay.
but long story short,
Anyways,
anyway, I loved that book. It was a great mafia romance. And then I got to chat with the author. It was actually her first face to face interview. And we just had a great time chit chatting about like writing spicy scenes. And like she also writes under a fake name. And she was like, yeah, I don't want my in laws to like know. And I was like, I feel like that's so true. That's like writing spicy
that's so
scenes.
cute.
Like, you don't want your in laws to know that you write that.
Never, never. That's so
Crazy.
cute.
Yeah,
It
she was
kind of makes me
adorable.
want to read the book now.
Oh my
That's
God.
so cute.
I could pull out a
But I
few
just
scenes.
no, I'm
Mm,
okay.
no.
I gotta sleep at night. Like I have two children, and like I just am not at the stage in life where like I can afford a loss of night's sleep due to a book. Like I'm
Hmm.
already losing sleep here and there because of the dog, the cat, the children. Like I cannot be bothered to
And the
lose sleep
rooster.
and the rooster. No,
God forbid.
seriously.
God forbid you get a good night's sleep.
Greg had to like seriously calm me down last night because I was just, anyways,
Anywho,
hysterical.
we can't keep talking about it or she won't go to sleep tonight.
I won't. My shoulder
Man.
hurts so bad.
Ugh. I did. Oh, wait, you also, sorry. First, you do have to show me on your add to your to-do list to send me the pictures of the bruises or
Oh, I will.
the
The
battle
injuries.
wounds. Oh
You're
God.
gonna freak. There is literally a beak pecked into my leg.
No, and you know, my biggest fear in life is birds. I'm seriously not coming to your house if that rooster is gonna attack me.
Yeah, that's what I said. And Greg goes, I was like, I just want it rehomed. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time selling a rooster to someone that's like, yeah, this one attacked my wife.
This one
That's why
attacks
we're getting
women when
rid
they're alone. Just give it to your neighbors.
No, they don't need this. They just had a new baby. They don't need this.
Crap. Okay, well, I'll ask around.
I actually have a guy that I'm like, we need to give it to him
A rooster guy.
because it's not because I like this guy, it's a good home. It's a good home for him.
Okay, is it Scott?
Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. All right.
Anywho,
Well,
I also wanted just really
oh,
quick a book that I
yeah.
do think you should read that I read recently. It just came out. It's called Strike a Pose. It's an
Oh,
indie author, and it's her very first novel. And it's about a famous supermodel who meets a famous, like, brand new country singer. And the whole plot is that she's teaching him how to be famous, and he's teaching her how to be like normal because she comes from like rich family, like actors and
it's
actresses
a
and models.
Hannah Montana the movie turned into book.
It's Hannah Montana turn the book, turn the movie. It's so cute and it's so good, and I love the author, so I definitely recommend everyone to read it. It's called Strike a Pose. It's adorable. That's
That
that.
sounds amazing.
Yeah,
That sounds
really good.
right up my alley.
I'm like, oh, I haven't read a lot recently. When in reality, I have two physical books. Like I'm reading Fourth Wing, which ugh, don't get me started. I'm reading Husbands and Lovers. I'm listening to Husbands and Lovers. I'm finishing listening to Jodi Picoult's new book, and then I just finished My Missing Daughter. That's five,
Oh my gosh, you are busy.
and I'm
You
not
know,
reading
this
Dune.
strike a pose references back to some bit of news that I got like past my feed this week of
No,
Limited
no, no.
2 is launching a revival line for women
Limited
our
two?
age. Yes.
No, you're lying.
I can't believe this didn't ring up when I was talking about Build-A-Bear because you guys remember you could
Yeah,
buy matching outfits with your
matching up.
Build-A-Bear from Limited Too. And that's like my favorite thing. But they're launching a revival line of clothing for women. And I'm very excited about it.
Whoa, I gotta look this up like as soon as we hang up.
I know. I'll send you the article.
Yeah, please do. Add that to the to-do list. There's a lot of things to do in this episode for you.
October is such a busy month, and I'm
So
sorry, you
busy.
guys, that it took us so long to make this episode. And but we got a lot out. We got a lot of our new books to read,
Yeah.
TBRs, and what we've been doing, what we've been listening to. And I think this was a great episode.
I think it was amazing. And, it'll be out soon. Hopefully, what?
It'll be out soon.
It'll be out soon. Literally, who's to say? It'll be out
Who's
soon.
to say?
Who cares? Husbands
Who
and lovers,
cares?
fingers crossed, we actually finish the book.
No, I'm giving myself a hard deadline of Friday. Like, if I don't give myself a hard deadline, I'm never gonna finish the book. Like, I'm
Oh,
gonna finish it Friday.
no, I'm so here for that because
Like, it's a hard deadline.
yeah, okay, I like that.
But
Yeah, no,
we have till EOD on Friday, like midnight Friday.
fine. Okay, but you know what? I might need till Saturday. I'm sorry. I might need till Saturday because
Okay,
the
Saturday.
the Big Brother finale is like going to be a long episode on Thursday night.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're into Big Brother, but it's a big deal.
Oh, no, but Bake Off is Friday.
Oh, crack, Bake Off is
So,
Friday. So
yeah.
Sunday. Oh gosh.
So that's why we're the teachers of we just pushed our book deadline 2 days.
Just in the midst of 30 seconds.
Which
Uh,
honestly, if you're gonna have a deadline Sunday, you gotta just move it
well,
to Monday.
well, and there's a hurricane literally coming for me. So
Barreling towards you.
barreling towards. Oh, you know what, Halle Bell, I actually do need your help. This goes back to me moving. So I have this aunt who lives in Tampa. She's like 75 years old, super religious woman, like married to a preacher. She actually told me verbatim the other day that I, as a woman, needed to multiply.
Hmm.
Um, mhm.
Okay.
Yes. So, anywho, she has invited herself to ride with me when I move back to Chattanooga, which is like a 10-hour car ride. So, I need your help to pick out an audiobook that she would appreciate.
No, you should let her listen to Carl Lentz's new podcast
Okay.
because I think is an amazing listen for like old Christian values to get a revamp,
A new
like
perspective.
a new perspective.
Okay.
He really is taking like okay, the other day, sorry, I'm just gonna
No, I
it's our
asked.
podcast. Who
I asked. It's
cares?
our podcast. We can talk about it.
Okay, so he and his wife Laura, who I love Laura Lentz so much. They were talking about swearing and like how the Christian community is just like so against swearing and
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. Well, she's from Australia and like in their culture they just swear. Well,
Yeah.
they decided like as a family they were just like, listen, we decide what's a swear word in our home. So like, they're like the S word and the D word, like whatever. Like it
Not
doesn't
that
like mean
bad.
it. You know what I mean? But like the F word is like completely off limits in their home. It's like super banned, like discreet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just thought that that was like back when I was a kid in like 90s church, like they just like got together a group of words and they were like, these are bad words.
Oh,
You
I
know what I
still can't
mean?
say the word stupid, but I can say the S word.
Yeah, no, seriously. And like they were just like, do what works. She was like, I was too busy focusing on having my children be connected with the Holy Spirit and being good people
Yeah.
that I just didn't have time to be bothered with abstinence and curse words and like all of these distracting things. Because
Yeah.
if you are like she was just saying, like if you are following the word of God, then you are not going to want to go down these paths. You know what I mean? Like if you
Yeah.
focus on it's like starting at the root of it. It was such a good conversation.
Okay.
I think for people that are stuck in the past,
My
and
aunt.
it makes a lot of sense. Like it just makes
Okay.
so much sense. It's like focusing on your kid rather than setting so many rules that they just
Love that.
fail.
Love that. Okay.
I
This
do
is
too.
really
I
good.
love it too. So
This is
anyways,
good. I'm going to write that down. Add that to the
okay.
to-do list for me and Mimi to listen to. And then the best part is I call my mom the next day and I'm like, Mimi said she's like staying at your house. Did she tell you she was coming? And my mom goes, no, she didn't tell me. I want to be that delusional, Halle Bell. I can't wait till the day when my kid calls you and is like, Aunt Halle Bell, did mom say she was coming over?
No. And then I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, we're on our way to your
What's the
house
confusion?
to spend the night."
To spend the week. Oh God.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait either just to be like an uncensored
Me too.
maniac.
And we
Oh,
kind
but
of
I
already are.
already am.
Yes. This has been great.
Anyways, yeah,
Let's
this is a good
okay.
one.
Let's plan on finishing Husbands and Lovers by this weekend to record
Bye
next week.
by Monday at
By
9.
Monday to record Tuesday.
But really Tuesday. You got till Tuesday because
You really have
you
until
see,
Tuesday at 7:30. But let's try Saturday because we need deadlines.
if we could get Saturday, then maybe we could record Sunday.
Ooh, I would like that. Yeah.
But if not, if things
There's a
arise,
there's a good chance I DNF this book. So I'll
the
just say that.
the hard deadline is we just go over this. The hard deadline is Saturday, but
Yes.
the hard deadline is Tuesday at 7.
Is Tuesday at 7:15.
If if you aren't finished it with it by Tuesday at 7:30, like you're never going to. Like there will be
No,
no deadline that like rings true to your
no.
heart, you know?
Yeah. Well, let me just say the Redheads, this was their book of the month. And
And what
Jackie,
they give it.
well, I don't really listen to them. I just listen
Oh,
to the
yeah, me
post.
neither.
And Jackie, it was her pick, and she was the only one of the group that didn't like it, which
That's
is
crazy.
a hot take because if it's your book, you're like, oh, it's a good book. Like, I liked it.
Yes.
Don't talk about
No,
it.
there have been many of episodes I've come on here and I've been like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Fangirl down. You're like, I'm sorry.
Let me pop on the mic. I like
Sandwich.
have like I have issued in Hannah Brown's book. I have
Oh,
issued
gosh.
several apologies.
No, Halle Bell has seriously made me read like at least 3 books that she was like, we're going to read this. It's going to be good. And then she's had to formally apologize.
No, I've been like, we're gonna read this. The people want this.
The people want this and nobody wants it.
Honestly, Fangirl Down gets like a consistent listen to on Spotify
No,
like every week.
no,
Like
it does.
everyone is always tuning in.
Everyone, no, and that's like Tessa Bailey, shout out to her, but she also just released the second book in that little series. So
Shut up.
a lot of people are
I
into
gotta
it.
read it. I
That should
gotta
be our
read it.
next one. Because we'll get through that. If we don't like Husbands and Lovers, we'll get through a Tessa Bailey book.
I'll read a Tessa Bailey book in 2 hours.
No,
Like,
seriously? No, if we don't finish Husbands and Lovers by Saturday at noon, immediately switch to this Tessa Bailey book and we'll finish it by Monday.
this is like Egypt is colonized by Great Britain, and Tessa Bailey is like, we're gonna go play golf
No, Tessa Bailey's like, and then we got into the shower together.
after a steamy golf lesson.
After a steamy golf lesson. Stop. This is what's wrong with us is we don't read things that educate us. Oh well.
And oh well, what can you do?
What can you do? Okay, I'm turning our live off on TikTok. Thanks everybody. Love you. Bye.
If you made it this far, you're a true cover to cover girl.
Okay, we're off on TikTok, but yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Do we have anything that we want to like throw in that TikTok doesn't get?
Ooh, what should TikTok not get? Let me think. I really feel like I've read a lot recently. Huh. Well, even TikTok got Greg, so.
They got Greg, but they didn't get that dance. So
yeah. Amen. Well, I'm just going to give a shout out to Bookator because we have 2 books from them. The other one, I'll tell you why. Why is it doing that? That's what TikTok didn't get.
Nobody asked for that. Nobody did anything.
I did a peace sign. Why? And it happened earlier when I did a peace sign by myself. Anywho, but I have 2 books from Bookator that they're interested in us reviewing. So
we should do it.
Yeah, we love Bookator, or at least I do.
No, I love them too.
Yeah.
They've been so generous with us, and keep them coming because we
Ooh,
need generosity that we can get.
wait, we should say that really quick. And it's honestly like very frowned upon to talk about, but we did The
Mm.
Assistant and Nicole Trope ended up changing the name of the book. So
Yes,
that's what TikTok isn't getting. So it was kind of like
and the cover, right?
hush hush in the industry. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Because they blasted it and then they decided to change it. So I don't even know what the new name is, to be honest.
And I think it's dumb.
Well, it's
I
crazy to me
think
that they would do it
they
after publishing.
they called it the Good Mother now, and I just think that's
Is
such a
that what it is?
yes. You said it to me. It's called the Good Mother. Is
I
literally
don't
what
like
it's
it.
called, and that I hate it because the
Hmm.
assistant you have no idea what that's going to be like, but the Good Mother is so like alluding. I hate it.
Yeah, didn't love it. Oh
Hate.
well.
All right.
All right. Well,
If
thanks
you
for
made it
tuning in,
this
guys.
far, then you're a true cover to cover
A
girl.
true cover
And
girl.
we will see you next time for Husband and Lovers,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Love you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.